So and I know other people wanted to turn up, so I don't know what's happened. That's absolutely fine. So for those who do show up, the recording is here for them. And if you're both happy being on camera, then that's lovely. It's going to go onto my YouTube. And if not, you can turn your camera off. It's completely up to you. So the other thing I'm going to do is set a timer, because traditionally I've been very bad at going over time with things like sessions. And that all comes from giving too much. And giving too much is one of those core, lovely, deep emotional programs that I think all three of us are probably really familiar with. And it's one I like to bosh on the head as much as I can. So welcome. I know both of you. So Nick, I can't remember how we know each other. It seems like such a long time ago.
I think perhaps through social media.
I think through Instagram.
Yeah, yes, that may well have been it. Yeah.
Yes. So I think following each other from afar, but not having had the lovely pleasure of meeting each other.
Exactly.
Okay, super happy to have you. And we've got Kathy here. We know Kathy. So you guys both know me, but for anyone watching, I'll just give a very brief introduction, and then I'll let you guys introduce yourselves if you feel comfortable to do that as well. I always find with a small group, it's really bonding for us to just even just know each other's names and where we're from and maybe what brought us here. Hi, Ashia. Oh, I'm not sure if you can hear us. You're coming on. Hello. Hi, welcome, welcome. We just got started, so perfect timing. I just said I just switched the recording on, so if you're comfortable to be seen on video, that's wonderful. If you want to turn it off, that's okay as well. Really nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to do a very brief introduction, and then you guys can all just say a little bit about your name and maybe what brought you here. And I was saying earlier, there's always a particular energy that attracts a group together to a live event. So I always trust that who is meant to be here is meant to be here. We probably all have some similar things going on in our life, which is why we're here in this magic of today. So I'm Antonia, you guys all know who I am, but for anyone watching who doesn't know me, and I help people overcome fear and self-doubt, because that is my journey. And I find that everyone who does this type of work is really going through their own stuff and then going forward on the path and then looking back and being like, hey, come this way because I've figured it out, or I'm working through that same thing. So all of my clients tend to have the same energies in their soul contract as I do, the same issues, the same worries. And fear is a passion of mine, because I find that every time we walk through the doorway of fear, which is an invitation, something really magical is on the other side, if only we just take that step through. So I wanted to do a webinar that was really about fear and about that self-doubt, because maybe you guys find this, they go hand in hand for me. And the self-doubt holds me back and the fear holds me back, because there's a lot of things I want to do as well. And I always have, blocks that come through. And my biggest thing is self-awareness. I want to know myself. And most of us go through life not really knowing what makes us tick, what drives us. So I'm sure you're aware of this, oh gosh, I can't even say this word, statistic. But your subconscious mind controls 97% of your reality, and your conscious mind only 3%. So everything that makes up your subconscious is really the thing that's driving your life. We like to think we're in control. This is our ego, but we're really not. So this is what we're going to dive into today, self-awareness. And with a couple of exercises and a little bit of divine healing as well, we're going to see what's below the surface of your consciousness, because it's like an ocean. And you're up here sailing your boat thinking, oh, I know where I'm going. And underneath there's very deep currents that are pulling and pushing you. And I love to help people find those currents and dive into them and clear them. And then it's very empowering for your life. And the more self-acceptance we have, the more self-awareness, the more compassion, because we can be so hard on ourselves. And Ashia and Nick, and Ashia, am I saying your name right? Oh, you're on mute. Hang on.
It's spelled Ashia, but you say Aisha.
Aisha, yeah, you know what? I thought it was Aisha, but the words were the wrong. Okay, sorry, Aisha. Yes, that makes sense to me. Okay, so Aisha and Nick, I don't know if Aisha, I know I've given you a mini reading. Nick, I don't know if you know the energies of your chart, but maybe we can dive into those today, seeing as you guys are here, and dive into them again and see what we can find. And Kathy, I know you know your chart, but we can look at that one too, because there's 3 of you here, so let's make the most of it. So that's me. If you guys just want to briefly say, you know, your name, well, we can see it, but where you are and maybe what brought you here, and maybe a little something that's nudging on you, or you're feeling just stirring underneath the surface, maybe with what I'm saying, or maybe before this webinar, or maybe it's something that's been a little bit in the background for a while. Is there a particular thing that's sort of you're holding on to? Feel free to share if you feel comfortable. Kathy, you look like you're about to press unmute.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go first. My name is Kathy. I live in the US. I'm in the state of New York. I'm in upstate New York, about 3 hours north of the city. So I live in the country. I met Antonia about 1.5 years ago. I was taking the divine healing class with her, and then the soul contract class. And we've done a couple other follow-up sessions. I love her energy. Everybody does.
I love yours.
And I actually had some energy sessions with Antonia in early June. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to doing some more. I think is it October?
Yes,
So
light body.
I'm having trouble keeping up with Antonia though. She's been putting out all these YouTubes and I can't keep up. They're short and sweet, they're brief, they're to the point, and they're always very meaningful. Antonia and I kind of our minds run the same. So anything Antonia does, I'm there. So I enjoy working with her.
Kathy, what's underneath the surface for you? What's something that feels relevant for you today? A belief or a fear or something that's maybe holding you back?
Not really sure. There's a lot going on this last week. My husband and I don't have kids, but you wouldn't know it by the hectic schedule. My husband had torn his retina last week, so we've been back and forth between the hospitals and the doctors. So I'm a little frantic. I'm feeling the negative energy, so I kind of really needed a boost today. So Antonia's the one to do that.
Perfect. We'll do some boosting. We'll do some boosting. Okay. Definitely today. And thank you for introducing your beautiful, radiant, gorgeous self, Kathy. So always such a joy to have your energy on these. Yeah, Nick, Ashia, Aisha, I got it right. Feel free to introduce yourselves if you feel comfortable.
So shall I go?
Yes, perfect.
So I'm Aisha and I'm from London. And so yeah, no, basically I was just sort of drawn to like your emails and sort of the stuff that you do, and I'm kind of drawn I've been drawn to this sort of stuff for the past sort of couple of years, and what sort of brings me here, I think I just want to sort of dig deeper into my soul. Yeah. And just to sort of yeah, so I've got it like I'm a carer for my father, and I've got quite a challenging relationship with my sister who doesn't really kind of help. And I'm finding I'm in sort of like these repeat patterns in life, and I'm trying to break through and break out. So I think what it is just trying to do some sort of personal work, self-development work, some soul searching to see, you know, where my blocks are, you know, what I can do to break through. Basically.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah. It sounds like you've got quite a lot on your plate. It's a really big responsibility caring for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is just a nice break for you and a nice uplift. Sounds like you need it as well as Kathy.
Yeah.
And also, maybe we'll find some of those patterns today.
Yeah. And can I just excuse myself for a minute because I need to go to the loo and get my coffee from
You
downstairs.
sort yourself out. You get that coffee. We'll be here waiting. So feel free to just mute or
Thank you.
come back in a second. Okay, Nick.
Hey, so I'm Nick. I'm from Dorset in south of England. Yeah, every now and again I do look through your emails, and I always enjoy them. I always enjoy watching your little YouTube videos. So certainly at the moment I've got huge changes in my life. And some people say, oh, you know, do you do self-work? I'm like, no, I don't. It's my life. You know, self-work has actually turned into my life. It's not really work anymore. It's just evolution and unfolding. And there was just something, I can't remember what it was that resonated with me. I certainly recognize, like Alicia said, there's some patterns, recurring patterns. And just recently recognizing, you know, my relationships, my past history of relationships have not been ideal. I know that there's underlying fear when it comes to intimate connection and self-worth. And I also catch my internal dialogue I'm still hearing or recognizing the thoughts that play out are seeking approval. I'm still seeking so much approval.
Yes. That's so interesting. And you know what? I completely agree with you because our lives are workshops essentially for our coming back to the truth of who we are. So healing comes in all kinds of forms. It can come from a conversation, or it could come from just going out for a walk and resonating with something. You don't have to do deep dive into this all the time. I really agree with that, and I resonate with that completely. It's your whole life is just one continual learning curve.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay, thank you. So okay, so relationships, big changes. The intimacy thing I really resonate with, and I wonder if you've got sevens in your soul contract, which are all about this fear of showing our true selves because of this fear, deep fear of being hurt. And I've got a ton of sevens in my charts. Kathy, do you have sevens? I can't remember. Oh no, you're on mute. There you go.
I have sevens in my soul destiny.
Yeah, so yeah, very big seven energy. So yeah, we'll look at Isha's and Nick, if you're happy to share your name, and we'll look at that in a bit and just see, because maybe we've all got some seven energy. We'll see. Okay, so let me share my screen and let me just, hopefully it's coming onto the right thing. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to put you guys up at the top, and I'm going to just go through this like this. So just hopefully you can see this. Oh, it's perfect. There's 4 people. I can see 4 images. That makes me very happy. Okay, so we're just going to get rocking and rolling straight in. So as you already know, we're going to be talking about fear, confidence, and potential. And I learned something very cool today that I'm going to share with you now. I'm reading a fantastic book by someone called Layla Elizabeth Ryston, and I'll share it in my follow-up email. And I'm going to show you the difference between confidence up here, self-esteem, and self-worth. So most of us get confused between self-esteem, I'm going to call it SE. Oh my gosh, I can't draw with this. SE and SW. Most of us build up our self-esteem by doing things, and we feel that we get our worth from what we do. But in this book, she says we are intrinsically worthy just by being alive, just by being born. So the foundation of our self-worth is everything. And this is just knowing that you are a divine spark of having a human experience, and you are here to know your worth and fully embody it. The problem is a lot of people don't feel worthy just by being alive. So they build up their self-esteem by the things that they do. If I win that race, mum and dad will be proud of me. I'll feel good. If I have 1,000 followers on Instagram, I will feel good about myself because people like me, people like what I do. The problem is when we stop doing, we don't receive that esteem, that validation. And without a strong foundation of self-worth, we can really crumble, we can really spiral downwards. So the work that we always want to do is knowing our self-worth beyond anything else and having healthy self-esteem, which then creates self-confidence. So I wanted to dive into that because it's a very cool subject. I'm going to put the book in the follow-up email and in the description below. Very, very interesting because all of the work that we do in healing is essentially about knowing our worth. And if we know our worth, then we can create healthy self-esteem from what we do. And if you imagine a cord that's plugged into your sacral or your solar plexus, and it's linked to how many clients you see, or love of a boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, husband or wife, or it's linked to what results you get in an exam. If we don't get those cords feeding us, if they suddenly cut off, then we are left with a very wobbly center. And unless we have a strong foundation of self-worth, then it can feel really, really painful. So Isha, I was just saying, I learned recently the lovely difference between self-esteem and self-worth. And self-worth is knowing at your core that you are worthy just by being alive and having a healthy separation with our self-esteem. So not having other things feeding us, like how many followers we have on social media, how many clients we have, what relationships we're in, you know, how much we earn. Because when those things stop, unless we have that healthy, strong foundation to hold us up of self-worth, then it's a real struggle. It's a real struggle for us to go through life gracefully and easily. So ultimately, fear, confidence, and potential are completely linked together. And I'm going to talk about the soul contract and how those energies have a massive impact on our reality, and some processes that we're going to do together to get to some core beliefs and some core fears, which is just what I love to do. Okay, so what I believe is self-awareness is the key to healing, growth, and transformation. The more you know yourself, the more you can respond to life rather than react. So, you know, if you're in a car and you're stuck in a traffic jam and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be late, honking on the horn, getting irate, feeling that energy around you getting more and more stressful. That's what I do anyway. That's reacting. That's our ego reacting. But if we respond, which is coming to a place of knowing, okay, this is a little bit of a triggering event for me, but I'm going to lean back and trust that I always get to the right place at the perfect time. That is a beautiful response. That is a lovely, healthy response coming through us. So it's all about responding rather than reacting. Self-awareness gives us this. So what blocks our confidence and limits our expansion? It's normally one of these. Normally one of these things is what is going on under the surface, under the ocean. I'm not good enough is a really big one. This is probably the core of most people. I'll never be as good as them. Again, I'm not good enough. I'm too scared to try. It's a fear. It's a doubting yourself. What will people think? Fear of judgment. It's not feeling safe. I don't belong here. This is a very big one, actually. If you have certain very high frequency and spiritual energies in your soul contract, it can feel like you're a real outsider on earth. Maybe you guys resonate, but I do. Sometimes earth feels really hard and really painful. And I'm like, this is I don't want to be here. I don't belong here. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel safe. I've landed in the wrong place. Don't know if you guys have ever felt that, like, I want to go home. I don't feel like this place is for me. I felt it. I felt it a lot. and it's unsafe to be seen. And this is normally coming from some childhood trauma sometimes of being visible and then being hurt and punished. So I don't know if one of those resonates with you. Maybe just feel into the energy of them and just feel into one of them, whether it glows a bit more strongly, whether it resonates a little bit more deeply. Maybe it's something a little bit different. But what I want to show you is when we have a program or a belief under the surface of our consciousness that's driving our life, we get these consequences that show up in our reality. This is a really fun one. I'm not good enough, so I'm going to procrastinate. I'm not going to try. I'm going to go into freeze mode, and I'm going to eat snacks and watch Netflix, and I'm going to self-sabotage the chance for me to do something great with my life. I do this. It's a really classic one. I'll never be as good as them. So we compare ourselves to others. Again, Instagram's been a really hard platform for me to be on, because I see other people doing really, really well. And I can sometimes land in this place of, I'm never going to be as good as them. And I get stuck in this comparison. And I do write and talk about comparison a lot. So it's something I have. I'm too scared to try, so I'll let other people do it for me. I'm too scared to try. I'll let other people tell me what to do, or to take over my life in some way. We give away our power. What will people think? Oh my God, I must do it perfectly. I must not make a mistake. I must not get it wrong. It's real perfectionism energy. I don't belong here, so I'm going to hide. I'm going to isolate. And it's unsafe to be seen. I can't be myself. And when we can't be ourselves, we cannot authentically embody who we truly are. And when we can't be authentic, and this is a big 7 energy in the soul contract, when we can't be authentic, we cannot attract what is meant for us. It's like a misalignment. It's like our energy fields are not so cohesive. And as you know, like attracts like. So the energy we emit outwards into the universe is going to be slightly different coming back. The more authentic you are, the more magnetic you are for exactly what is meant for you, whether it's people or work or situations. It's a really, really big one. It's a big learning curve for me, that one. So I love to talk about it. So I want you guys to shut your eyes and feel into a program or belief that you feel is repeating in your life. Just let it rise up within you. Don't try and figure it out. Don't try and let go of the thinking and bring into the feeling. And I'm going to pick one as well. And I want you to, if you can, if you have somewhere to write it down, write it down. Just, I want you to remain conscious of it. It could be a really simple one that holds a massive amount of power in your life. And actually, as I think about mine, it came up this week. I had this horrible, tingly, uncomfortable feeling in my solar plexus, which is like our position of power. It's where our boundaries sit. So has everyone got one? Just let me know. If you need a bit more time, that's fine. Kathy, you've got one? Yeah, you can just nod. Nick, Isha, you've got one written down? Perfect. And feel free, if you know, at any point, please ask a question. You don't have to stay on mute at all. This is This is for you guys to ask and share, because it's really validating sometimes to have these deep things heard. And often we don't really have a space which feels really safe for us to share these. So you're welcome to share them. So we're going to take a pause and we're going to go into, where do these programs and beliefs come from? This is my little beautiful diagram of an onion. And at our core, as I said earlier, we are worthy, whole, complete, and perfect. And I don't believe actually in the word healing, even though I do something called divine healing. That's the name of it, so I can't change it. We're not healing, we are clearing, because there's nothing really to heal. There's only layers to clear. So every layer, like an onion, tons of translucent layers, is a layer that's blocking us from realizing our worth. That's really all it is to it. This diagram for me sums up everything. At our core, you are worthy, whole, complete, and deserving, loved, accepted, and supported. And we just build on all these layers that block us from feeling and knowing and embodying that. So where do these lovely layers come from? Past lives. It's a really big one. And ultimately, there is no time, there is no past, present, or future. So we're always living in this moment now. But I do believe we've had past lives that can have a strong influence in, especially around safety. And as women, you know, women have had a pretty tough time on earth up until, 100 years ago. We were, and especially women who are interested in healing and, clearing and spirituality and self-awareness. A lot of us have a witch wound, which is a wound around being seen and being able to speak up, because we've been punished, hurt, and killed for doing that in the past. So I do find that can be a really common one with people. And we have an ancestral lineage. We have all our mums and our dads and their mums and their dads and their mums and their dads, and all of their stuff filtering through. And if you have an 11-2 in your soul contract, we're going to have a look in a minute. 11-2s are all about processing the stuff from our ancestral lineage. And the ancestral lineage can change depending on where you're born and your race and your religion and all these kind of things. And they all have slightly different heaviness and weights to them. And multidimensional realities, because it's not just Earth out there, and it's crazy to think that there is. We are just a mere dot in a massively huge universe. So divine healing is multidimensional healing. We don't just heal in this reality, we heal across all realities or timelines. Now, parental imprints, this is a huge one. Our parents, we love them, we accept that they only did the best that they could do. And we hold no anger against them because they are playing a role. We unbelievably chose them to play that role with us and that dynamic. But they imprint us with their beliefs and their programmings, especially in that sponge-like age of 0 to 7, where they think, we'll just speak over her because she doesn't understand. Oh, she does. She absorbs it like a sponge. We absorb things. Then we have DNA, genetic, and inheritance programs, which is kind of similar to ancestral. Societal programming, my gosh, this is a really big one, where you're born and the society that you're born into and the constricting, limiting beliefs. You should be married by this time. You are a failure if you don't have children. You should have a job that looks like this. You need to look like that. You are unacceptable if you can't do that. They're very strong, and they are everywhere in our multimedia that we exist in. I know you guys are very aware of that. And your soul contract energies. And your soul contract, we'll go into it in a minute. So these emotional programs, these core limiting negative beliefs that we hold about ourselves, that we soaked up and we created all these layers that hid our self-worth from, they quite literally block our life force energy. And our life force is what carries us through life, almost like a straight, beautiful path, like a road, and it's driving us forwards. And it's like an obstacle in the road, stopping us, making us swerve, causing pain, causing trauma, causing disruptions. And, you know, these emotional blockages are these negative beliefs. I'm scared to be, I have a feeling of lack around, I don't believe in myself. And what happens when we aren't in that life force energy, when it's blocked? As I said, it creates these obstacles in our lives, but it can result in a lot of tension in our physical body, a lot of stress and limitation in our life. We don't want limitation in our life because we've got these beautiful big lives that we want to reach our full potential, all of us. I'm going to do an exercise in a minute. I'm going to stop talking in a sec, but I wanted to share your primary 3 separation programs that we have found to be at the core of everything. The first is, I've been abandoned here. It's a very deep one. Sometimes these are so deep, we can't really feel them. They're very, very hidden. I've been abandoned here. I deserve to suffer, basically. Everything bad that happens to me, I must have deserved it. I've totally been left here because I did something wrong. It's a really big one. And very painful to release. Unworthiness to be loved. Again, it's remember that triangle, that self-worth at the bottom. It's just not knowing that you are loved just by being in existence. And mistrust. I don't trust this life. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my path. I'm deeply skeptical. I'm deeply scared of this place that I found myself. So maybe just again, feel into these and just feel if there's one that you connect with a little bit more strongly than the others. Is there one that sings to you, saying, or nudges you, saying, this resonates with me a little bit? Just notice if one of them just glows more. This is my one. I've done something wrong and I've been left here to suffer. And do feel free to share, is there one of them that clicks for any of you? Or they may not. If there is, just make a note of it. You don't have to share it here. Just write it down. It's really easy. Our ego loves us to forget things. When we have a big understanding or a deep self-awareness, our ego will want to hide it from us because it ultimately doesn't want us to ascend. It's here to block our ascension. In a loving way, you know, let's keep you safe, but the ego will trick us and try and hide big realizations from us. Which is perfect timing, because what does the ego do? So the first thing is feeling abandoned. I'm going to judge myself for it. I must suffer here. And we fall into this victim mode of I am here to suffer. And that becomes my reality. And whatever becomes your reality, whatever you feel and think and embody, you are put out there through frequency and energy, and it comes straight back. Unworthiness, actually mistrust of God, the universe. I don't want to grow spiritually. I don't want to do this healing work. I don't want to go there. I don't trust myself. I don't trust what I'm capable of. And of course, the unworthiness to be loved. Can we feel this one? This one is all about feeling. So yeah, they're pretty heavy. I will say they're pretty heavy, these ones. So we're going to do a little exercise. And I'm not sure if Nick's still there or not. She might just hovering in the background. Oh, she's there.
Just having to move.
No, move away. I just, if you want to do this exercise, that's awesome. This is one of my favorite ones, and it's really simple. And I just call it the what if exercise. So as I said earlier, our ego is programmed to think in the negative, to keep us safe. You know, so we won't even be conscious that we're doing it. But say you want to make a plan, a great plan, a plan that makes you feel good about yourself. Your ego will go into this overdrive of, but what if it doesn't work? What if that happens? What if you can't get there? What if other people do? You know, it will go into this lovely loop of what ifs. So I know I do this. Do you guys do this as well? Isha, do you ever do this? What if? Yes, Kathy? No? Oh, Kathy, you're great then. You're fine. Kathy's confident queen. Or Kathy, yeah, age and wisdom, age and wisdom. You're just, yeah, you're in your element. So the what if is all about confronting the fear of your mind. Our minds will go into fear to try and keep us safe. But the way that we challenge fear is by sharing that fear and by taking action against it. And what we're going to do is we're just going to train your mind a little bit with this. So Isha, Nick, and maybe Kathy, you want to do this as well. I want you to think about a fear. I want you to think about something that you want to do, something that you want to achieve, something that would make you feel so, so happy, overjoyed. Maybe it's finding something or discovering something or succeeding in something. So I have built a YouTube channel recently and I want to grow my YouTube channel. That's the one I'm going to go with. I want to have a really lovely platform on there. So that's mine. Do you guys have one in your mind? Yep, Kathy, yes, Nick. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you've got that in your mind. So I want you to go back to that belief that you originally had. Do you remember that core negative belief? I want you to shut your eyes and I want you to feel into it. And I want you to, because this work is all about feeling and not being scared to feel the stuff that feels uncomfortable. We don't need to shy away from it. And I want you to notice your mind, what pops up when you're feeling this negative. Oh, mine is, which is really relevant with this, I'm scared to be seen. Doesn't feel safe for me to be seen. So having a YouTube channel is a massive confliction with this very core belief that I hold. I'm actually really scared to be seen. So what we're going to do is we're just going to retrain the mind. And I want you to write down, instead of, oh my God, what if people judge me? What if people make mean comments? What if people, you know, whatever your what ifs could be about, those are relevant to me. I want you to write down 3 positive what ifs, not the negatives. I want you to write the positives because we're so used to doing the negative anxiety, fear-driven mind. So just write down 3. Whatever pops into your head first is always what your intuition is bringing through. So I'm going to write mine down too. What if? Okay.
Sorry, so are we doing a what if statement on a positive spin on our original limiting belief?
Yeah, so we're going to think about the thing that you want to do. I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard that bit. Think about something that you want to do, you want to achieve, you want to succeed in. And all I wanted you to do is come into the energy, that negative limiting energy. And then we're going to come through it. And I want you to write down 3 positive what ifs around, not around the core negative belief, but about the thing that you want to do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to write mine down. Okay. I don't know if sometimes people find this easy and sometimes people find it really hard because we're so used to thinking about the negative things that might happen if we embrace something that makes us feel really good. So if anyone wants to share, please do. Or it might be private and personal. We're still jotting. I love it. Feel free to do more than 3 as well. And this is an exercise to do whenever your confidence falters. It's a really lovely thing to just bolster yourself and push through that negative limiting belief. And to create a lot more joy and a much more joyful energy around the thing that you want to do. It's all about energy. It's all about frequency. Does anyone want to share? I'm just busy drinking lots of water because it's hot and sweaty in Turkey.
All right, I'll give a bit of a share.
Yes, Nick, I love it. Thank you.
So, so my what ifs are based on I'm not good enough. What I want is I do want to be in an intimate relationship. So what if they see their own divine truth when they look in my eyes? What if they see, yeah, their light, my light when we connect? Yeah, what if there's divine wisdom in this union?
That's so beautiful. That's so, so beautiful and so truthful. That just echoes truth to me. Because that's really what a partnership and a union is. It's seeing yourself in the other and seeing your beauty and your radiance and your worth. I love that. That's stunning. Thank you for sharing. Would anyone else like to share? Otherwise, I'll share. I'm happy to share. It's not about me, but so my one was I'm scared to be seen. It's a real safety thing. But I really want to build a lovely video platform because it really suits my energy. Instagram really doesn't. So what if I gain lots of lovely new clients? That would be really joyful for me. What if I become even more authentic through videos that I share, which is my big goal with my 7s and my soul contract? I'm here to become really integrated into who I am. And what if I overcome my fear? What if I overcome my fear of being seen through being seen? And hello, we're back to that door of invitation. That lovely fear is always this wide open door saying, do you want to come in? Do you want to come in and see what's on the other side? Fear, our minds are just so embedded with fear is something to not go near, to skirt around, but actually share the fear with someone. This is the first thing I do to defeat fear. You've got a fear in your mind, share it with a friend, share it with a family, share it with a community. The second fear, take an action against it, even if it's teeny tiny, such as making a phone call. I had a fear about going to the dentist. It was awful. I worked myself up into a frenzy for 3 months, not knowing what to do. And then I finally, it was awful. I hadn't been in 3 years, and I spoke to my mum and she was like, why don't we just book an appointment? And I was like, okay. And we booked an appointment. I took an action against it and my teeth were fine, which is amazing. I couldn't have, again, I went through that door of fear and everything was fine. Everything worked out. So I just, the dentist, that was horrible. Still echoes within me. Ooh. Okay, this is my funnest thing, the cycle of negative emotional experiences. So we have a negative experience. And negative experience could be something, from the past, bullying at school, or, something to do with our parents, or it could be something at work, or just something super small in our day-to-day lives, because as Nick said, our lives are a workshop for knowing ourselves, healing and clearing. And what we normally commonly do is what all of us do is we react from our ego, which is defensive and wants to keep us safe and doesn't like to, so it brings up all this fear in us, this anger, got to keep people out, got to project our anger out to keep us safe. And we go into a deep stress state. And as we know, the more stressed we are in our physical body and our nervous system, the more we emit that outwards, which is exactly what happens. Whatever reaction the ego has emits that vibration out into the universe. And what does it do? It brings back more. This was the one bit of golden advice someone once gave me many years ago. He's like, honey, you got to stop, feeling this. It's just coming straight back to you. And there's a really fine line, by the way, between wallowing in our ego and our fear and our stress and our pain and becoming aware of it and validating it and being like, okay, I see that I'm angry. I see that I'm upset, but I am choosing to work through that. Very different energy from, oh, I can't believe that has happened. Very, very different. It completely changes this. When we have more self-compassion, everything changes in our life. I mean, everything. And we're here to break the cycle. This is what we do. This is self-awareness right here. It breaks the cycle. I know that when that thing happens, when someone, so an example, I used to have a boss and I didn't have very healthy boundaries. It was a very toxic one. Every time I got an email from her, I'd come into a state of stress. And that stress would go whoop, out into the universe and get stuck in my nervous system. And breaking the cycle for me is about having an awareness of my lack of boundaries and having an awareness that, that was a little bit triggering for me, but I'm safe. I'm compassionate with myself. It's a really weird example, but it actually it's a really big one in my life. And there's nothing, we're all different. We all have different things going on. There's no normal. So we're here to break the cycle. And this is what healing and clearing and self-awareness and self-awakening does. It breaks it. And you step into your power because then you choose what you want to emit outwards. You choose. It's lovely to have that choice. Lovely to have that ability to respond rather than react. It's like a softening, like a melting of those layers. And really healing becomes possible when we have a desire to heal. So Isha, you want to dive into this stuff. You have willingness, you have desire, and you have courage. It takes a lot of courage. Nick, you have great courage in wanting to get to that root, that core limiting belief of not feeling good enough with all of the romance in your life. And it takes a huge amount of courage to be vulnerable with another human being. And Kathy, you're just courageous, full stop. Kathy's got 9s in her soul contract, and 9s are all about disempowerment and coming into your power. So Kathy's really getting into her power. We want to identify the issue because when we feel, energy shifts. When we feel, we can move blocked energy. And in divine healing, we ask spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to move that energy through us. We feel the release, something lets go, and then we shift. And then we integrate. This is all about bringing consciousness to the issue. So if you remember that lovely ocean that we have and all your stuff is going on underneath, this is diving. We're just diving into it. We've got a willingness to dive. We're putting on our dive gear. We're being brave, going into the ocean. We see the current, we recognize the current, and we feel into the current. We ride the current. And when we ride the current, we're like, it's just a current. It's just a story. It's just a program that got encoded into us. And that's a really powerful thing. They're just stories. They're just layers. They're just programs. They're not true. So, as I said earlier, part of our belief system, part of our programming comes from our soul contract energies. So I know you guys are kind of aware of this, but your soul contract is something your soul chose to experience in this lifetime, to evolve back to love, back to God, back to the universe. So it has challenges. My challenges are I have to learn to assert myself and put up boundaries. I have to slow down. I have to step into my authenticity. I have to step into my power, and I have to put myself out there and come out of hiding. Those are all my challenges that I have to work through in a nutshell. And that's basically what your soul contract is. And what we have, as you've seen, karma, talents, and goals. Your karma is your potential. I am here to be a speaker of truth. I am here to connect with lots of people, even though it feels scary. Our talents that help us overcome our karma. My talents is I'm good with people sometimes if I'm not too shy. And I want to teach eventually at some point. And the goals are what you're really here to do. And I'm just, again, using me as an example, and we're going to look at yours in a minute. The goals are I'm here to network and be a catalyst for people. And as I step into my power, I will help other people step into their power from any disempowerment that I've had in the past or in other lives. And everything feeds into the soul destiny. The soul destiny is just all the numbers feed in. So that's a real nutshell of a soul contract. But I don't want to get too stuck in that. I want to actually look, if someone wants to be a willing volunteer to look at their soul contract with, yes, Nick, love it. So if you're happy to put your name on, I just need what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing just briefly. I just need your full name on your birth certificate. So you can type it into the chat and then I will pop it into my software. And we'll take a little look, see what's going on. Nicola Wood, so no middle names or anything. No, okay. And yes, Isha, we'll put you in as well. And Kathy, you know your soul contract. But if we have time. Okay, let's do Nicola Wood first. Okay, let me just share my screen again. The Mile of Technology. And as we thought, there is a 7 in there, in that karma. Okay, so just remind me, Nicola, what was the wording of the core belief?
I'm not good enough.
Okay. Okay, so where is this coming from? Hello, we've got 12 threes. Lovely 12-3 energy and a 13-4. Now, the worthiness issues come from 3s and 4s in the soul contract system. And the 3s are all about coming out of hiding and being seen. So the 3s can feel a little bit shy and struggle to really recognize their gifts and talents. They can really underestimate their abilities. So do you ever do that? Do you underestimate what you're capable of doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll get really self-conscious, and whether that's perfectionism, fear of failure, their kind of muchness. Yeah, definitely. A lot of
Yeah.
shame.
And you know what? That lovely perfectionism energy can often come through in this 10-1. And the 10-1 is a beautiful energy, which is all about being of service and wanting to help others, but they can be deeply judgmental of themselves. It's a very Virgo. The Virgo is the matching energy. They can be really like, it has to be perfect. It's also the father, the masculine, the link with the masculine, the father. So sometimes when this shows up in a contract, we always dive into, relationship with the masculine. And the 13-4, this is really interesting, is all about the relationship with the feminine. And the 4 is all about feeling connected to the universe or connected to God, whatever you want to call that loving, expansive energy or consciousness, feeling connected and deserving of the flow of abundance that can pour into your life. So it's all about trust. So I don't know if trust is ever a little sticky point sometimes.
Huge. And also, funnily enough, it was mistrust of the universe when you had those three up there. And I was like, well, that's unusual. I'm surprised at that, but that's what I was drawn to. So,
Yeah, mistrust of the universe. It's that very strong 4 energy. It's I don't trust that I can receive. And 4s can, really struggle with feeling that connection to God and feeling deserving of that lovely abundance flowing forth. But with the soul destiny of 13-4, it's such a stunning number to have there, because you're really here to come into that gentle feminine wisdom, which is inherent within you, and share whatever you do out with the world and radiate yourself outwards. So you are here to recognize your worth completely. And this, beautiful being of service, strong spiritual energies coming through with these 1s. You're here to be a strong. And did you say you do relationship work?
no.
No, what did you say you were doing? Just remind me.
As in for this evening,
No. What do you do in your job again?
I help people out mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yeah, sorry, I thought the word relationship was in there. So 1s become a platform to provide a strong, stable foundation for others. So it's a very lovely energy, and it really resonates with what you do. And with this, so with this 7, you are here to, fully come into yourself and heal the heart wound that causes you. And I don't know what happened, but sometimes we have a heart wound that causes us to only show who we truly are to a very select few, and put on that lovely mask so other people can't truly see us.
If we even know ourselves who we truly are. So that's been a lot of the journey.
Okay, lovely. And you know what, we don't just look at the birth name in the soul contract work. We also look at the common name, and I just want to have a quick dive. So you go by Nick Wood.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look, just see what's going on there. And it's a small name. So again, the 6s are all about feeling connected to God and birthing creation out into the world, and coming out of isolation and fear and frustration, and truly connecting with your creative potential. It's all about creativity, and again, connection, feeling connected to the source that runs through you. The 16-7 comes up again, and the 17-8, and the 17-8 is all about coming into your power, coming into your dominion, having healthy, strong boundaries with others, and connecting with people. So I don't know if that resonates or not.
Yeah. I mean, it all kind of resonates really, and especially the coming out of isolation. I say coming out of isolation because I see the beautiful, beautiful solitary isolation camps I've set up myself over the years. Now it just seems that they're naturally unfolding. The universe is opening up opportunities for me. So I'm just leaning into it, and I just see it's totally changing. Yeah.
That's beautiful, because you are not here to be isolated. The 3s and the 8s and the 7s in your soul contract will naturally want to hide. I have all 3 of those numbers as well. We naturally want to hide because it feels safer and we can protect ourselves. But you're not here to hide. You're here to connect with people. You're here to network. You're here to be a magnet. And it's just coming into that acceptance that you are at your core utterly worthy, and a true knowing of that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry it's such a brief one. It's just I want to fit in some divine healing time. But what we'll do is we'll look at Isha's quickly as well. And Isha, hang on a second. Let me just find. You put it in the chat. Oh, no, gosh, don't do that. You put it in the chat. Can I just write it in here quickly? I can't see the.
BAJ.
Thank you. I was having a special moment there.
WA.
Perfect. Now, did you have a short chart? You did. I remember. again, 12-3 energy. We're all here with the same energies. I've got two 12-3s as well. Nick, you've got the 12-3 energy. The 12-3s are all about slowing down and feeling the insecurity within. So I don't know if you resonate with this, needing to sometimes try and do so much and spin so many plates and expand, but always being blocked and limited because you're not feeling what's really going on.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, because that's what my life is like. So. Yeah, and with these lovely, gentle, sensitive 11-2 energies, you're here to be a real gentle support for people, which is quite literally what you're doing now, being a carer. The energy of the 2 is like this lovely spring of nurturing. And you have a 2 as well, Nick, in your calm, and 2s can be really, really sensitive. Kathy, I think you've got an 11-2 as well. Yeah. Yeah. 2s can be very, very sensitive, and they're here to build emotional resiliency. So they're here to build a deep sense of wisdom and emotional strength within them so they can go and share what they need to share out with the world. And people come into their aura because it feels very safe to be with them. So Nick, the people that you work with will feel that 2 energy. They'll really, really be feeling it. They'll feel that care and that love. And the 12-3s also are a very loving number, just like the 13-4, very loving. People will feel that and be drawn to it. And it's a very much seeing the best in everyone. Isha, do you do that? Do you sometimes just want to see?
Yeah, to a fault.
Yeah, yes.
I'm misjudging a lot.
Yes. And as we said earlier, the 11-2s can sometimes be the EPUs, the emotional processing units of the family. So always just something to be aware of. When you have this number, you are here to clear some stuff from your family and through the line. So it's a beautiful, soft, loving energy. And the 11, you're here to build and create and share out into the world. And the 12-3 is all about teaching and sharing your knowledge and coming, and for you as well, Nick, coming out of the shell. This is where the 3s hide, in deep in here. And I don't know if either of you feel this. I definitely have felt this a lot and sometimes still do. Sometimes with the 3s, we can really struggle to feel the deep, painful stuff. It's almost like we exist just on the surface, and the deep stuff just feels a little bit like, I don't really want to go there. I'd rather stay here. But you're not here to stay still. You're here to come out and share your experience, your gifts, your knowledge outwards, but also to learn from others. 3s can sometimes not want to listen to other people because we sometimes feel that, oh, if other people are right, then we must be wrong. Other people are saying that thing. I feel this one. And it's nothing to be shameful about. It's almost like I'm a denial of other people's knowledge because it reflects on our lack of knowledge. Because the 3s are all about healing their worth. And it's a very linked to abundance, the 3s as well. Money and the 4s, Nick. Money can really go up and down because our worth is really linked to what we feel deserving of receiving. So with a 3 in our charts, we have to be very deeply compassionate with ourselves. Very, very, very loving. And also with the 4s, Nick, very, very loving and compassionate, especially with your 10-1s as well. Every time you catch yourself judging yourself in some way, you need to come back into that place of compassion. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best with the knowledge and the tools that I have in this moment. And I'm sure you already do that. And that's what it's all about. So thank you for letting me share that. I really, sorry, Kathy, I know you already know your soul contract, which is why I didn't go in there.
It's fine.
Kathy's got a ton, she's got 11-2s and 9s and and you've got 7s as well. Yeah. Healing the heart and being seen. So we're going to come back to breaking the cycle. And I'm not gonna do this one with you because I actually want to do a bigger divine healing. Actually, no, we are going to do it. We've still got time. Oh, do we have time? Yeah. Reverse psychology. So again, I want to change the energy field around a negative belief that we have. Again, this is a really simple one, but it's just one that you can just write on a post-it and keep it somewhere. And I'm just going to explain this one, and you guys can do it in your own time because I want to have enough time to do the divine healing with you. So we can get stuck in a mind loop of, God, this is so hard. I'm so tired. Why is this happening to me? It can just be any negative belief that just feels like it's just on a little bit of a loop. And what we want to do is we want to shift it. We want to completely change the energy of it. And again, it's tricking the mind. It's tricking the ego. So we're going to do some reverse psychology. So it can be, I'm going to give you an example. If I wake up and I'm like, I am so tired today, and I know I'm not alone in feeling that, because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm exhausted. You just change out the word for the very opposite thing. I am so energized today. And it actually is quite hilarious when you do this, because your feeling is so contradictory to the words that you're saying. And your mind's just like, I don't understand. Your energy field just goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And you completely can change how you're feeling. And when I do this, I laugh out loud, because some of the statements that you can say can sound really bonkers. So, oh my God, I'm so energized today. This day is so amazing. Why is it so great? You know, so we're basically tricking our mind. So maybe you have an example of something that you say to yourself, like something that you always repeat to yourself. Like, I think my one is, God, I'm tired. Or maybe it's not tired. I'm so busy. This is my one. God, I've got so much to do. I'm so busy. It's my 12 threes, always giving me more and more to do. So I have to change that. I have to quite literally jolt it out. I am so free. I have so much time. Why do I have so much time? God, it's so, instead of it's so annoying, I'm so busy, you change it. It's so cool that I'm so free. And you're tripping yourself up from this march ahead into this negative headspace. You're tripping yourself, and you'll change your energy fields. And the other thing that you do is you can tap it in. And there's this point in your body that sends a message into your subconscious. It's called your small intestine 3. And it's right down the side of your hand, just on that side. And you tap it. So it's an acupuncture point. Acupressure point, acupuncture. And you tap it and you say, oh my gosh, I feel so good today. Why do I feel so good? Oh my God, I have so much time. Why do I have so much time? It's so amazing I have so much time. So you basically take whatever statement it is that's lodged in your negative headspace, and you just reverse it. And it's so simple and so effective. And I just bloody love doing that. So yeah, try it. Just try it. Again, put it on a post-it. I have post-its everywhere. And just next time you catch yourself in a saying out loud or in your mind a negative belief, just trip it up and put in the exact opposite. And notice how you feel. Because I promise you, with 100% core of my being, your energy will shift like that. And you will laugh at yourself, because how wonderful is laughing, how healing it is. It brings us out of that shame and that heaviness into, oh my God, life is just such a game. And my mind is just telling me stories, and oh, I'm going to trip it up. So I want you to try it. And we're not going to do it now because I want to do some divine healing. But I wanted to share it with you, for everyone watching. So we're going to do some divine healing now. Something loud is going past. Very loud, sorry, thing going past. So divine healing is basically clearing all of these things. Oops. This is what divine healing is. It's multidimensional healing. So it's going into the root of your onion and clearing all the layers. And helps you come back to the truth. I am worthy at my core. And I have nothing to worry about. I have nothing to fear. This is what we get back to. And these are all the brilliantly fun things. Just a little example of the things that I tend to work with people with and things that I love. Judgments of self. Clearing. We have very powerful trauma clearing processes in divine healing. Clearing self-sabotages. These are amazing because every time they pop up in a session, everyone says, that's not me. I don't do that. And then we dig because, again, the ego's ducking and diving, doesn't want to go there. We dig it, we find it, and we pin it down. And you will resonate with it when we've dug enough. It just doesn't want to be seen. We all have attachments and we have addictions. And believe it or not, addictions have a vast network of root causes that all filter in. It's very, very interesting. Addictions, we can go really deep into the root cause of that. Soul level programming, which is stuff coming from the soul. A little harder to resonate with, but they do resonate on some level. This is my favorite, hidden ego agendas. And they're hidden and they trip us up every day. Little ego agendas to keep us limited and hiding from ourselves and the truth. Conflicts. Key psychological conflicts are quite literally a tension between what is true and what is not. And we resonate with both. And so we cannot get to the truth. And it creates this tension and conflict in our life that plays out in our reality. Low frequency programming, it can just be something that sits under the surface, like a low level negativity, a low level fear. So again, we clear them. Fears, big one, blocks to living our best life. And then we do lots of energy work as well. I put all of these down because these are the ones I love to work with, but there's a ton of different ones. So I think, oh yeah, so when we have divine healing or any kind of healing, actually, I'm not going to be, this is just all about this. Any kind of self-awareness work, as Nick said, any stuff that you figure out in your life on a day-to-day basis, through a conversation with someone or anything that helps us to come back to the flow of our life is something we want to do. The path of the ego is the path of suffering and struggle and strife. The path of our spiritual signature, the truth of our worth. I am worthy. I'm deserving. I've not been abandoned here. I trust in myself. Brings us into the flow of life. We want to do more. We want to do all the things, anything. It could be hanging out with friends, or it could be being in nature, or it could be any kind of sessions you have with someone, or it could be journaling. Anything that helps us come out of our ego and into a bit more of the flow of the truth of our life is a good thing. And divine healing or anything like this clears up our life force energy because we bring consciousness to it. And when we bring consciousness to something, we feel it and we can clear it, we can move through it, it becomes transparent. When you have an awareness of an obstacle on your road, you can start to walk around it. If you're not aware it's there, you bang into it. So when we have clarity, we can go through these things, we can go around them. And we can have more energy, more freedom, more courage, more confidence. Okay, let's do some divine healing. So I don't really know what we're going to do, but something came up, which was a block around positive living before I even started the webinar. It just popped up in my consciousness, and testing it, I think this is what we're going to do. So what I want you guys to do, and I've already done an opening and I've connected our energies together. I want you guys to shut your eyes and root yourself down with your feet onto the ground. And just take a couple of lovely breaths. And what's really nice is I sometimes love to just center into my heart space. And just breathe. Okay. So what we've got is we've got a block to positive living. And the one that's come up for us as a group is all about endurance, having endurance to overcome. So we can have many blocks within our psyche that stop us from living positively, just below the surface. And these are just energy patterns that operate in our life and create those negative outcomes because of that vibration going out into the world. So we want to explore the block. So I want you guys to just feel into a block of endurance, enduring something. And just feel if it resonates with you. Because it has come up for a reason for all of us. Block to endurance. I can't endure this. It's impossible for me to endure. I'm not capable of enduring. Notice any beliefs that block that lovely ability to endure. And in divine healing, we want to feel as deeply as possible. So I want you to feel where this may be sitting in your body. And sometimes it can be hard for us to connect to our bodies. There are certain energies, especially in our soul contract, that can struggle. So just notice where this little thing is nudging and sitting and making a little bit of a, maybe a slight shift in your energy field. So this is coming up for me on the left side of my body, around my solar plexus, around my stomach, around my heart. And what it's speaking to me is, oh, this is tiring. I'm tired. I can't keep up this pace. I can't endure. And the more we feel things, the more we clear them, because the more conscious we become of them. And I want you to notice if you have any emotions that are coming up, any emotions that feel relevant to this block of enduring. And it could be anything. There's no right and there's no wrong with this. So mine is this very solar plexusy kind of feeling in my energy field in my body. It's just tingling. So there might be a body part, it's just slightly tingling. And I'm getting that it's ready to clear. So I just want you to nod if you feel like you're ready to shift this out. Yes, beautiful. Kathy, is that a nod? Kathy's clearing with some big yawns. Okay. So you've all got your mics off, so that's perfect. I'm going to want you to repeat after me, because when we say things out loud, there is, with intention, there is something that goes out and cannot be taken back. So our words are immensely powerful. So I want you to say with real feeling and meaning, just repeat after me. I command higher self.
I command higher self
To clear all files of discordant and blocking energy. 100% the core issue through all levels and dimensions. 100% the original cause. through all levels and dimensions. 100% the source of its power. Through all levels and dimensions. 100% all energy attached. Through all levels and dimensions. 100% all of its effects. Through all levels and dimensions. Lovely. So just let that settle. And what I'm going to put in is we're going to work with some color frequency, because sometimes color can be a very lovely, healing, clearing energy. So you can just stay in your body, stay in your breath, stay centered and grounded. And we are going to put in purple. So purple enhances insight, and it releases skepticism, doubt, and intolerance. And it almost, the energy of purple opens a channel to create divine connection. And Nick, with your sixes, this is all about opening the channel with the sixes to enable the subtler energies of spirit to be activated. So it's a real an opening of the channel. So I'll just do this quietly. Maintain the confidence system. All of the vibration energies, high vibration energy, these energies will increase the healing team is transmitted to this group, to that ancestral and genetic lineage, and to progeny and progeny, the highest form of life. Healing team might also be seen being maintained for some ancestral life. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so the purple is infused. And we're going to do what we call a zap code. So zap codes in divine healing just help us to integrate something that we've just worked through or shifted. A blocked positive living is a very gentle starter shift. And in a session, we can go very deep. It can almost be the tip of the iceberg, and then we go deep down into what's feeding that, and then what's feeding that. So let's see what we're going to do. 1 to 26. So 9. Invoking the violet flame. So when we've done a chart, the violet flame is almost like a lovely strength, power that kind of clears and shifts. So I'm going to speak this out loud. I love this. Healing team in Saint Germain, I invoke the violet flame to burn and transmute multidimensionally in all time frames to infinity and beyond, and the Akashic records, any negative thought pattern, belief, condition, attachment, or alliance that this group has made that no longer serves them. We commit to our return home to wholeness. Thank you. And there's one more we're going to do. And I'll check in with how you're feeling. Just going to do a sound balance. So again, just integration. Healing team, please adjust, tune, and balance and reconcile the unison within our beings, physically, energetically, and vibrationally, to sound the perfect frequencies multidimensionally in all time frames to infinity, to create perfect sound harmonics in all our energy fields. Thank you. And the last thing we're going to do, we're just going to infuse a back flower. So back flowers change our energy field, so we can take them manually or we can infuse them in energetically. And again, very nice integration. So let's see what's coming up for this group. This was very quick. Elm. Occasional feelings of inadequacy. Exhaustion from trying for perfection. Elm is like my best friend. I use it in kinesiology for the past 5 years. I've been doing that. Elm, Isha, for those 12 threes is very important because 12 threes rush, overwhelm, busy, exhaustion, tiredness. And Elm is for all of that overwhelm and that tiredness of needing to do. And Nick, for that perfectionism, it's and that needing to be perfect. It's a lovely one. So this is all about, and you can say this out loud, all of you. I am confident in fulfilling my life's mission and release the burden of striving for perfection. And I'm just going to encode this into us. I command higher self to encode the frequency of elm black flower into every part of our beings for as long as it is required multidimensionally. Please release all negative thought forms and emotions, limiting mindsets and conditioned thinking, and bring all energy bodies into alignment and harmonic resonance with each other. Thank you. Perfect, and that's all I'm being called to do today. So you can gently open your eyes and just come back. If anyone feels like sharing how they're feeling, or if anything resonated or didn't resonate. Yes, Nick.
I had an interesting thought when you brought up the color purple.
Ooh.
Took me back to school because I had a really big block with the color purple, literally until you reminded me of my block without realizing. So I think that's quite important. So that's something I'm going to take on and work with because, yeah, well, it came up. So thank you.
Lovely. And also, Nick, I didn't say, but you've got a 16-7 in your spiritual karma, which is also what I have in my common name. And a 16 is all about it's almost like connecting to that spiritual journey, which is what that purple is all about, and fully connecting to that and embracing it and overcoming that mistrust of self and of spirit. And so I wanted to share that. It's very linked with the energy of purple. I have it too. Isha, how are you doing?
That was quite nice because I kind of feel the blockage in my situation in my throat. And I've been sort of unwell and had a bit of a cough, but I kind of felt my throat kind of clearing up while you were doing the healing. So that was quite nice.
Lovely. Yes, and our throats hold so much about speaking up for ourselves and communicating how we're feeling, not just with others, but with ourselves. So like, what is the truth? What am I really feeling? And can I, with threes, threes have to really connect with how they feel. Threes can sometimes numb. I do it too. We can numb how we truly feel. So wonderful. That's a lovely thing to do. And Kathy, how are you doing?
I think endurance was the perfect healing that I needed. I did feel it and in my solar plexus and in my third eye. And then the color purple as well. It was just, it's always perfect though. That's what that's what I enjoy about the divine healing. So, but yeah, the endurance thing was like, that hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it did for me as well. We all go through stuff and it's like, oh God, when will it end? Can I carry on? I'm exhausted. So I'm really pleased that resonated, and that was just, a little tiny snippet. And what I'll do is I'll stop sharing and I'll turn the recording off. It's just, yeah, joyful to have had you guys on here. Thank you so much.